Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Cassie, aka Cassie Ever After, and all I have to say is just wow. So I haven't posted in 2 weeks, but I last posted my Bibbidi Bobbidi Box unboxing for May, and I think I've literally gained like almost 50 subscribers. So shout out to all the new subscribers. I am so appreciative, but this is not a video for that. What I wanted to kind of do a story time slash advice sort of video to any brides out there. So if you guys are not aware, I am currently engaged and I will be getting married in September of 2020. Despite COVID and everything happening right now, our wedding is still going to be happening in September. But I really specifically wanted to talk about my experience dress shopping. So I had been debating whether or not to make this video, and I decided to just go ahead and make it because when I was doing my research for dress shopping, I realized that there was not a whole lot of videos aimed for people like me. So more specifically, the plus size bride. I know there is a couple of videos on YouTube, but none that really go into super detail. And unfortunately, I didn't vlog when I was dress shopping because I was so nervous, which I'll get into in a little bit. But yeah, I really wanted to talk about it and give advice. And yes, this video is aimed more toward plus size brides. However, everything and every piece of advice that I am going to give is also for the straight size bride. So just to dive into it, I got engaged May 11th of 2020, and I knew that I would need to start shopping for my dress, and it was the one thing I was dreading because as a plus size woman here in the US of A, it can get a little difficult shopping. And granted, we have gotten so much better in the past 10 years, I would say, but we, in my opinion, aren't where we should be yet. So I was really concerned and just honest to God scared. So I put it off for as long as I could, but in that time period, I did a ton of research online. So I was looking for designers that made dresses up to size 32 because if you're not aware, I am a size 24, pretty solid 24. And bridal sizing is a lot smaller than normal sizing. So you could be a size 10, but your bridal size is a size 14, which is so backwards to me, but you know, it's neither here nor there. It's just one of those things when you go to dress shop, don't worry about the actual number on the tag, just worry about, does this dress make me feel good? So that would be my first piece of advice. But yes, bridal sizing is a lot smaller than normal sizing. So I knew that even though I'm a 24, I would probably be a size 28 or 30 in bridal sizing. So I did the research and I found 3 designers that I really liked. Maury Lee, or Madeline Gardner for Maury Lee, Essence of Australia, and Stella York. Now, Essence and Stella York are actually sister companies, but they have 2 completely separate lines. So, but I liked them both. And all 3 designers went up to a size 32. So I was like, okay. After I figured that out, I actually started looking at the dresses. Like, do I actually like them, or do I like them because I know that I'll be able to fit them? And it turns out that I actually loved the dresses for all 3 lines. So once I figured that out and I kind of saved on Pinterest the dresses that I really liked, I went ahead and did research about where I can go in my area to try them on. So I live am also from Houston, Texas, and we have a lot of bridal salons, but a lot of those bridal salons are straight size bridal salons. Again, they've gotten a lot better in the past 10 years. So after I kind of jumped that hurdle of, okay, do these designers have up to a size 32. My next fear was, will I be able to try them on? Because bridal gowns are expensive, and I didn't want to buy a gown that I couldn't put on my body. And a lot of bridal boutiques only have up to a certain size of their sample gowns for you to try on. So I started contacting some bridal boutiques, and I think I had like maybe 6 or so that I reached out to. And of the 6, 3 had the gowns in my sample size. And the only store that I actually ended up going to, which was the first one, it's called the Princess Bridal here in Spring, Texas. And I asked them, I was just like, how many sample dresses do you guys have that I can try on? And this is my street size. And I got the response back like, hey, we have over 50 gowns for you to try on in your size and above your size and all that jazz. So that's when I started getting really excited. But even still, I was really hesitant. So what I had decided to do was put off dress shopping until October. Mostly because I knew that I had my Disney trip planned for the last week of September of 2019. And I wanted to focus on that and get excited. And I didn't want anything to damper that trip. Which, go check out those videos. I had a lot of fun. But also, the reason why I did it was because if I have my dress appointment after that trip, I'll still be on my Disney high. And if something goes wrong at the dress appointment, I won't take it as hard because I'm still on my Disney high. So I had made the appointment for my dress to be that Saturday after I got back from Disney, which was, I think, October 8th. So didn't think about it after that. I was just kind of Disney. Got back from Disney, and the day came for my appointment, and y'all, I was so nervous, like literally like shaking like this, nervous. And like the whole trip to the bridal boutique, my stomach was in knots. And my mom was like, hey, it's gonna be okay, you're good. And I was just like, oh no, what if I can't fit any of their sample sizes? And like I'm working on it, but like I'm not there yet. And my mom was real good at like just keeping me calm. So we get there, and the first thing that I see when I walk into the boutique, so basically how the layout is of this boutique, again, it's called the Princess Bridal in Spring. I will link them down below. They were wonderful. But you go in, and it's the receptionist waiting room area. And in this area, there's 2 mannequins with like bridal gowns on it. And one of the mannequins was a plus size mannequin, which should have, calmed me down, because not a lot of boutiques do that. But I was still very much scared. So I didn't even pay attention to it. But my consultant came in, her name was Hannah. Shout out to Hannah, she was absolutely phenomenal. So she pulls me in, and when you walk in, there was just like rows upon rows upon rows of just beautiful gowns and veils and accessories and all of that. Backtracking a little bit, another reason why I really wanted to go to this salon first is because the layout of their boutique, how they do it is they have individual rooms for each of the brides and whomever they bring with them. So no one else shopping can see you get in your dress, which was huge for me because even though, yes, I am proud of my body and there's things that I don't like that, I'm working on, I didn't want everyone seeing my back rolls. So it was really nice to be in a private room with just me, my mom, and my consultant. So Hannah brought me into the room and she sat me down, and mind you, I'm like still shaking. And she started asking me like, hey, what do you like? What don't you like? Etc. So I immediately went to, listen, I am a size 24 and kind of down that route. And she kind of stopped me. She was like, no. What do you want in your wedding gown? Like size aside. And again, that should have been a good sign for me, but I was just in my head too much. So I started explaining to her like I'm very much a princessy ball gown, A-line, all of the bling, all of the twinkle, sprinkle, sparkle baby kind of chick. And I had brought pictures with me of dresses, or I brought pictures with me of dresses that I knew they had at that specific boutique. So I was showing her, and I think of the 5, they only didn't have one of them, and because they have 2 locations, so they have their main location and then they have their off the rack location. So if you're in the Houston area and you need a dress right away, go to their off the rack and you'll get the dress same day. But they had just moved that dress to the off the rack location, so I wasn't able to get that one, but the other 4 they had. And so after I was kind of talking to her about what I liked, what I didn't, she gave me some clothespins, and she was like, okay, what I want you to do is go out on the floor, pin all of the dresses that you want to try on. And I think I had like 5 pins, I want to say. And she took me there and she told me which sample dresses were in my size. And when she showed me that, I was shocked because literally I had like 2 rows. And the rows were like literally the size of my apartment. So I got really excited, and I actually had to ask her if she could narrow it down for me by which ones are exactly my size on up. So it cut it in half so that I wasn't so overwhelmed. But it just so happened that the 4 dresses that I loved that they had at the boutique were in my size range for sample size. So I clipped all of those. And so I went back into the dressing room, the consultant got it, and that's when I started trying them on. So just a disclaimer, what I'm going to be doing is somewhere over here, I will show you a picture that my mom took of me in the dress, minus the dress that I ended up choosing, because I did end up finding the dress on my first appointment. So the first dress that I put on was one that I wanted to try on, but it's something that I didn't expect. So again, I'm very much a tulle, sparkle baby, bling me up all the way, poofy, all that jazz. Now this dress had the poof. It was a traditional ball gown. And again, I'll put it somewhere over here. But the top was like semi-sweetheart, beaded with like straps. And then it like cinched my waist. Like I had a waist in this dress. And it was like ruched a little bit. And then you had this beautiful satin ball gown. And it was a beautiful champagne color. And mind you, I'm not someone that's afraid of color. I love color. So I absolutely loved it. Shockingly, because I am the kind of person where it's like the more beading and stuff like that, the better. But this one was so classic bridal and it was beautiful. So this one also was my mom's favorite dress. She loved it and we both agreed that it snatched my waist. But yeah, that was the first dress. The second dress I tried on, I cannot put a picture up because it's the dress that I ended up choosing. This dress is literally everything that I ever wanted in a wedding dress. It gives me the poof, it gives me the sparkle because it literally sparkles from head to toe. It gives me that off the shoulder because a lot of the dresses that I was putting on my Pinterest that I gravitated toward had a sweetheart neckline, it was a ball gown, and it was off the shoulders. So it has that element to it. It was just stunning. And at this point, I got really confused because I actually really did love the first dress too. But then this dress, the dress that I actually ended up choosing, was everything that I thought of. So it was a little overwhelming at this point. But there was still one dress that I had pulled that I had been thinking about for months. And I was telling everybody, this is my dress, this is my dress. So those two confused me because I knew I hadn't tried on my dress yet. So I kept going. And so the third dress, and again, I will put it up here. The third dress was a very pretty dress. So it was a traditional A-line and it had a beautiful sweetheart neckline with like a high neck illusion lace. So the lace literally looked like it was tattooed on my chest. Beautiful dress, not me. I needed some bling and I needed some poof. And I did not like the traditional A-line. Like it looked great on me, but wasn't my like, it just wasn't my thing. It didn't really fit my personality. And luckily my mom agreed. So then I already nixed that and I went to the fourth dress. Now the fourth dress I also don't have a picture of. So this, I wanted to be open to different silhouettes. So I told her that I would not mind trying on a fit and flare or mermaid style dress. I kind of already knew that I didn't want it. And it had nothing to do with me being plus size. It was just the fact that I don't like tight things on my body. And so like I've never done the bodycon or anything like that, even when I was smaller. So I wasn't a fan, but I still wanted to keep my options open. So I tried it on. I will link a stock picture of the dress because the dress itself was beautiful. And it looks beautiful on a plus size woman as well. And I'm going to include the stock photo of the plus size model because we're about the same size and she looks stunning in it. But just, first of all, I had to like shimmy to get into the dress, and I'm sitting here like, if I have to shimmy into this dress every time I need to get in and out of it, I'm gonna be uncomfortable, and I don't want to be uncomfortable on my wedding day. So that's the reason why I nixed it out, and I told my mom, don't even take a picture of this one because it's not worth it. So that was the fourth. The fifth dress I put on was the dress that I swore up and down was gonna be my dress, and I'll put a picture right here. But this is from, oh, and I should say, let me back up a little bit. So the first dress I tried on was a Stella York dress. The second and third dresses, or no, the second dress was the Essence of Australia. The third dress was a Stella York. The fourth dress was also a, well, hold on, let me see, I'm trying to think. Yeah, the fourth dress was also a Stella York. I had to think if it was Essence or Stella, because again, they're sister companies. So the fifth dress was an Essence dress. You see the theme here, like I really love that. You see the theme here, I really love these designers. But the fifth dress was stunning. Again, I'm gonna put it right here. It was a long sleeve dress, and it looked like the lace was like tattooed on your arm. Had a sweetheart neckline with gorgeous beading on the bodice, and then it was a ball gown, but it was all like ruffly and so darling. And then it had a like a belt you could put on the waist that was like embellished and all that kind of jazz to give you some extra bling. I swore up and down that this was going to be my dress. Now I'm gonna put the stock picture over here and the picture of me somewhere here, because the color that I wanted for the dress was actually the stock photo, but the dress they had for me to try on was in pure white. Now, mind you, I knew I did not want a white wedding gown. I wanted something more ivory, or even with a little bit of color, like a blush color. But when I put the dress on, I was so disappointed because I thought, and I would have fought anyone who told me otherwise, that this was my dress. But I put it on, I was disappointed because like I have very broad shoulders. And I've never been self-conscious of my shoulders ever. But when I put this dress on, I immediately, my eyes just went to my shoulders and I just felt like I was a dude in a dress. And you know, if you feel like that and you put on the dress, it's not your dress. And I knew it wasn't my dress, and that's why I was so sad. And that's why my face looked so freaking weird in the photo. Because I knew it wasn't my dress, and I was so mad because I thought it was gonna be my dress. So that was the fifth dress I tried on. So after that, my mind gravitated toward the first and second dress again. And I was also a little disappointed. But that weekend that I was there, Allure Bridals was having a trunk show at that boutique. So my consultant, Hannah, went out and grabbed 3 more dresses. So the sixth dress I tried on, I nixed right away because I felt very matronly in it. It was a 3/4 sleeved, and mind you, the top was embellished very pretty and it had pockets, and I liked pockets. But I just felt very matronly. It didn't feel like me, and it didn't feel bridal. So nixed that one. And then the seventh dress I tried was another long sleeve dress, very similar to the one the dress that I thought was the one, but this dress, it was tulle, and again, I'll put a picture here, but it was a tulle skirt instead of the ruffle skirt, had all the embellishments, and it was very, very shiny and pretty. Again, it was the shoulders. So that's when I realized that the long sleeve wasn't for me, because it actually is, can God, I can't talk. It accentuated my shoulders, and that's a part of me I didn't want accentuated. So I nixed that one. The last dress I tried on was one that was similar to the dress that I actually ended up picking. The issue with just this dress, and I'll post a picture of me in this dress, but it had a V-neck sort of neckline that I didn't like. And I loved the top and I loved the bottom, but it had a completely open back. Now, again, I am a size 24. I got back rolls, okay? I'm working on them right now, but I got back rolls. And I didn't really want that on display for my wedding. So that's why I nixed that dress. So mind you, at this point, we're 8 dresses in. So I went ahead and went back to the first and second dress. I put the first dress back on. And at this point, my consultant, Hannah, put a tiara and a veil on me. And, you know, my mom's like excited. She's like, oh my God, this is beautiful. And I'm thinking, damn, my waist is snatched. I look good. But there was something nagging at me and I needed to put on the second dress. And I didn't say it, but my mom was like, you want to put on the second dress, don't you? And I was just like, And so I went and put on the second dress. And then Hannah got another veil, same headpiece, but another veil, and put it on me. And I was just looking at myself and I was just like, this is my dress. And my mom, again, I think the favorite for her was that satin ball gown dress. But even she was looking at me different in this dress and she was like, this is more you. This is your dress. And I was like, you're right. And another reason why I knew it was my dress was because I didn't want to take it off. That first dress, as beautiful as it was and as much as I loved it, I was able to easily take that off. The second dress, I did not want to take it off my body. It was just everything that I could have imagined, and it was, and it still is, just a beautiful dress. And it's not the dress that made me feel beautiful like I felt beautiful in the dress. So I ended up saying yes to the dress. Now, one of the pieces of advice I'm going to give everybody, whether you're plus size or straight size, this is not like say yes to the dress. So I did not have that crying, oh my God moment, because that's not me. I was like, obviously I was emotional, but I wasn't like emotional. It was just like, yep, this is my dress. And so the consultant was like, are you saying yes to the dress? And I was like, and that was it. Like, honestly, that was it. And same thing with my mom. Like, my mom is not an emotional crier kind of person, so I wasn't putting that pressure on her. And I also, like, I am definitely more emotional than my mother, but I am not someone that cries over clothing. No matter, you know, how beautiful clothing is, I just don't do it. So just keep that in mind where you're going dress shopping. But the biggest piece of advice that I want to give anyone who's watching this, again, whether you are plus size or straight size, when you're going dress shopping, keep your options open. Do not just settle for one type of dress. Try on different silhouettes so you know, okay, this is what I like, this is what I really don't. Or to solidify what you think you may already know of, this is what I like, this is definitely still not what I don't like, whatever. And then for my plus size brides, specific advice that I want to give you guys is that there are a lot of options for you. Now, I know a lot of people have been asking me, well, why didn't you just go to David's Bridal? I have no issues with David's Bridal. I've been there twice. Once for my best friend and matron of honor, Katie, because that's where she got her dress. And then again for my other best friend, Tay. Her mom is currently engaged, so we went over there for her. And I was looking at the dresses, and to be completely honest with you, there wasn't only maybe 1 or 2 dresses that I saw that I loved, but not even loved. I liked, but not enough to put it on my body. And those 2 dresses they didn't have in plus size. So that was one of the reasons why I didn't go to David's Bridal. And I know a lot of people like, they think of David's Bridal in plus sizes because traditionally, like in the past, that was the only place that had plus size dresses. But we're in 2020 and there are a ton of designers that have their sizings through a size 28 to 32. So just do your research, keep that in mind. Don't be afraid to go to a smaller boutique, because another reason why I wanted to go to an actual boutique versus David's Bridal was because I remember the whole Alfred Angelo debacle a couple of years ago, and David's Bridal is a large chain like that, and I didn't want to have to deal with God forbid, a future situation like that. Another thing that I want to keep you guys, or give you guys the advice on, is know your budget. When you do your research, also research your budget. Bridal gowns are very, very expensive. My gown was, without tax and shipping, about $1,800, and then plus the tax and shipping ended up being about $2,000 even. So they are expensive. Know your budget. If you try on a dress and you know your budget is $2,000 and that dress is $5,000 and you know you can't afford it, any other dress that you try in your budget is not going to live up to that $5,000 dress. It's just not. So know your budget. Make sure that you are firm and you let the consultants know your budget, because if they don't know, they're just going to be pulling any dress they can. So just keep that in mind and stick to your budget. And then the other thing I'll say is, if you know you, only you knows what you like. Make sure that the consultant knows that, and make sure that whoever you bring with you are people that are going to support you and support your vision. And on that note, my advice is not to bring a lot of people. I know that some people bring a whole big entourage and it works out. I literally only brought my mom. And I'm glad it worked out that way, because I'm very sensitive, and I knew that my mom, if she needed to critique something, she would wait for my cues. And that's how it worked in my appointment. So I wasn't stressed out or upset. So bring a smaller group. You know, it doesn't have to just be your mom. You know, bring like your mom, your matron of honor, and your maid of honor. Like, just keep it small. Especially if you're like me and you're more introverted, or you're very sensitive. Just keep it small. And last but not least, and again, this is more so for my plus size brides, you deserve the bridal experience just like any other bride. So enjoy dress shopping. Do not get as nervous as I did, because I promise, if you do the research, if you know what you're getting into beforehand, you will have an amazing time. Find that boutique that doesn't give a shit about what size you are, and find that boutique that just treats you like every other bride that walks through the door. If you can find that, which I know you can, you will have an amazing dress experience. And I really hope that this video of my experience and my tips help you guys a little bit. I know there are a lot of videos on YouTube that will tell you bridal shopping tips and things like that, but I really wanted to cater this video more so for my plus size brides to see my experience and how good of an experience it was. So you're not just settling on David's Bridal, or you're not scared shitless like I was. So just keep that in mind. Oh, and before I wrap this up, because I'm going to wrap this up, the last thing that I want you guys to keep in mind is that do your dress shopping early. Dress shopping, I mean, to get the dress in, it could take 8 to 10 months, depending on the designer and where they're at. So I ordered my dress October 8th. I actually was able to pick up my dress in that January of 2020, of this year. So it was a very quick turnaround for me. However, a lot of different designers aren't that way. It can take 8 to 10 months. So don't be so scared to shop that you put it off to the last minute, because that's going to limit your options even further. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel, y'all. I'm almost at 100 subscribers, which to me is a lot, and that was my goal for this year. So I'm almost there. So help me, help me, help me. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And I am gonna do a Disney themed giveaway for 100 subscribers. So if we can reach that by my next Bibbidi unboxing, I'll announce it in that video. But Again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys are staying safe, wash your hands, social distance, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.